Hi there, this is Ranjit, and in this video I'll be talking about the differences between the Samsung Galaxy S6 and the S6 Edge. I've used both these devices now for a couple of weeks, and quite a few of you have asked me my personal opinions about which one is better. I'll talk about that at the end of the video. First, I'll be talking about the major differences between both these devices. Technically speaking, both these devices are sort of identical because internals are the same. Obviously, the S6 Edge has this edge at both the ends, and Samsung, to differentiate, has added some features. So let's have a look at them first. So here we have the S6 and this is the S6 Edge, and one thing right away I noticed is that the regular S6 feels a little bit wider to hold, whereas the S6 Edge feels a bit narrower to hold. Both of them have a 5.1 inch screen, but the S6 Edge just feels like a narrower device, a sort of a smaller device thanks to this Edge screen. So if you're a person who likes smaller, narrower devices, then the S6 Edge might be a more ideal bet. But again, as we have these Edge screens, don't expect a lot of functionality. I would say also in terms of weight, there is a minor difference. In fact, the regular S6 weighs a little bit more. It weighs at 138 grams, whereas this S6 Edge weighs at 132 grams. But again, in day-to-day usage, practical usage, I would say I do not feel a lot of weight difference. Both of them actually feel almost the same. Also in terms of battery, there is a slight difference. The S6 Edge has a higher capacity battery, that's a 2600 milliamp hour, whereas the S6 has a 2550 milliamp hour battery. But again, in regular day-to-day usage, I found the battery life almost the same on both these devices, so that's not a major difference. The major difference I would say with the S6 Edge is this curved display, and I actually sort of like it, but it's sort of a gimmick also. In some places where I really like is, for example, in some of the apps like Play Store, etc., you have you can just slide away and it look at it a little bit carefully, and it looks like that it's just flowing like this. I also noticed this with Gmail, etc. So apps that have this feature that you scroll from the edge, they feel a little bit cool. It looks like this text is just, the screen is just flowing. It's a minute effect that I would say. And scrolling is, if you just move like this, it's a bit smooth because we don't have anything. We just have the glass, actual glass. So it feels smoother to scroll around, I would say. But again, that's a minor difference. But as it's an edge screen, Samsung has added some functionality. Let me show you. I feel it's sort of a gimmick, but let me actually show you that. If you go to the settings, you can actually search for this edge and you'll find the edge screen option. Let's just go there. For some reason it's yeah, you can hit the search, and here edge screen, if you type, it will give you the option, and these are some of the options that we have. We have the edge lighting. I'll talk about that a bit later. You can also add edge contacts. For example, here, as you can see, this minor tab over here, if I pull this like this, I can add up to 5 contacts and I can make quick contacts with them. For example, I have Ash, I can just call him by tapping or message him. I have my contacts, so you can add up to 5, and you'll notice that we have some colors. For example, Ash is in blue. This is my secondary number, that's in green. And so that way, for example, the edge will glow, but it's sort of a gimmicky. To make it work, what you have to do is the phone has to be placed like this, inverted. And now if those people call, out of the 5, for example, Ash was, if I remember, yellow color, the edge would glow in yellow color. It's pretty faint, but again, I have used this device personally as my primary driver for over a month, and I never used those features. So it's sort of a borderline gimmicky, I would say. Let's also talk about some other features. You can also get some notifications. For example, let me show you. And right now the phone is in standby, but if you rub it like this 2 or 3 times, as you can see, you get the weather, time, and the basic notifications. If you can have missed calls, etc., it will show you. Right now we don't have any notifications, as you can see, so it's showing nothing. But you can add also some panes. I added the Twitter pane. But one thing I have noticing is that this Twitter feed is generic. It's not being picked up from my Twitter followers or the people who I follow. So this is very generic. Samsung has added a little bit of functionality. Let me again show you. If you go to the edge setting, you have this information stream. That was the thing that I was talking about. And we can actually add feeds to it. And if we click here, these are the feeds that are offered. I've enabled the missed call, etc. And these are the basic feeds, but again, you see the feeds that you have are pretty limited. Samsung says that you can download more, but if you even go to the download, as you can see, the choice is very limited. Again, most of them are sort of gimmicky in nature. So I don't feel that the Edge actually does offer a lot of functionality. It looks pretty cool, I would say. Definitely it looks pretty cool, but the sort of functionality, if you are thinking that you'll get amazing functionality with the Edge screen, that's not the case. Yes, this is there, the quick dialer thing. You can assign up to 5 contacts. That's the only thing that I am using, but I'm not using the other features like the streams over here and stuff. It's very limited. Yes, you will like it. I would say it's a novelty factor, but it wears off pretty quickly. Also, you can assign night clock also if you want. So those were the Edge screen features, but apart from that, both the devices are very similar to each other. And again, the biggest thing I would say is in the feel factor. The S6 Edge feels a lot smaller in the hand, whereas the S6 feels a little bit wider. One thing I have also noticed is that the Edge has these edges are a little bit sharper, so you also have to be aware of it. I wouldn't say it's a deal breaker. I got used to it within 3-4 days of usage, but definitely with the regular S6, if you hold it tightly, it does not press your hands that much compared to the S6 Edge. Also, if we talk about the keyboard, again, this might be just me. I would say let's switch on Twitter. Let me show you the keyboard. Again, I've changed the keyboard, but again, notice some of these keys on the Edge are a little bit on the edge. So when I was typing very fast, I used to make a little bit more mistakes on the S6 Edge compared to the keyboard on the regular S6. I feel if you type very fast, then the S6 might be better. But again, I might say might be just me. So what do I feel about the differences between both these devices? As we have seen, it comes down to personal preferences. In the style department, the S6 Edge goes ahead. It simply looks a lot more sleeker. But from a practical point of view, I would say the S6 Edge might be better for people who have smaller hands and prefer a smaller device, because the S6 is slightly wider and might be more comfortable choice for people having slightly larger hands. But again, it comes down to aesthetics, I would say. If you like the sleeker, cooler design, then the S6 Edge might be for you. But one major difference that I have between both these devices is that, again, it's particularly in India, there is quite a bit of price difference now between the S6 and the S6 Edge. Earlier, when the S6 was launched, it was being sold for around 49,000, but now we can find it in online sites like Amazon and Flipkart. I'll have the links for just around 40,000 or even 39,500 or something like that. Whereas still the S6 Edge is considerably expensive. The price difference is around 9 to 10,000. And I would say if you're sort of a value consumer, then the S6 makes I would say a much better bet, because in the price to performance ratio, I would say the S6 goes ahead. But again, if you are more of a style conscious person and looks are the main factor, then and you can justify spending that 9,000 rupees extra for some of those gimmicky features, then the S6 Edge might be for you. Practically, internally it's the same device, but again, the look and feel is a little bit different. And if you are buying it from a local store, I would suggest that hold both these devices in your hand and see which one do you think is better, because the in-hand feel is slightly different for both these devices. I hope that this video was helpful, and if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. It's free to subscribe. Thanks for watching. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video.